We're at part 30 of the Majora's Mask commentary? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a commentary.
We're at part 30 of line. Majora's Mask.
It's not,
oh, okay. Thank you.
It's not a painting. It's not an animated GIF. It's a commentary.
The new Elegy of Emptiness song allows us to gain access to Stone Tower, and that's primarily what we're using the song a lot for.
You didn't get the milk, though. You didn't get the super milk thing.
No, he's already drank it.
No, I have not yet, because this 3-day cycle I have here is strictly for getting up to the entrance of Stone Tower, because this chasm here is full of a lot of switches, and this is the primary purpose of Elegy of Emptiness. Elegy of Emptiness, makes a copy of yourself, and you can make up to 4, one for each form: your human form, Deku, Goron, and Zora. And the method of how you climb this area requires you that you play the Elegy of Emptiness to create enough copies of yourself to flick all the switches that they want you to press. So the biggest problem I had with this is that you have to play the Elegy of Emptiness so many goddamn times, just for the sake of hitting these switches to get these blocks to move so you can climb further up towards the Stone Tower entrance.
I think that's one of the things they'll change in Majora's Mask 3D, like auto songs or something.
I hope so. It's already going to be a little easier, because if they're going to go the Ocarina of Time route with button layout, the Ocarina will be its own individual button. So that frees up an inventory spot for masks.
And then you'll also have 4 buttons, so you could potentially have all 3 masks plus something else on your.
Make the masks their own buttons.
Like the Zora, Goron, and Deku masks.
Yeah, because it's not like you don't need them at any point. You have to utilize all 4. Well, all 3. Specifically in Stone Tower as well, because Stone Tower is the dungeon itself. You have to utilize all your forms to get past. And not just for stray fairies either. But, you have to switch on and off with the mask, the Elegy of Emptiness. This is not a fun place to go through. Luckily for us, there is an owl statue at the top of this.
There's a lot that could be streamlined here, I think.
So wait, there's gonna be so you're gonna do an entire 3-day cycle just for this, restart, and then go get your milk for the actual dungeon?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh wait, this isn't even the dungeon? This is just the way up to the dungeon?
Yes.
Oh, what the...
It's the final dungeon, mate. They had to make it hard.
That's why I don't like it. Well,
wait, you forgot to switch to Deku Link for this one.
No, he doesn't need the other one anymore.
Deku clone is worthless, because the clones also take the properties of your form, and in the Deku clone's case, it's light. It's not heavy enough to press switches.
Oh, wow.
So why does it exist?
Well, because I think just in case you do it, maybe.
So you can see the body, I guess, of the Deku Butler's son when he was alive.
Very true.
Oh, because it shows like Darmani and Mikau and who's its face when you do it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean that Link is dead and that's what he actually looked like in his life?
Well, he got better after dying.
Gotta be honest, never really been a fan of those. This character was dead all along kind of things. Except for Sixth Sense, it was okay though.
I don't read too deep into the fan theories and stuff like that. Though they are pretty interesting when they really go into the lore without pulling something out of their ass.
Yeah, there's a great long article on, I think it was either Zelda Dungeon or Zelda Universe on Majora's Mask. Just kind of like went in depth with all the lore and whatnot. Like, on these block things, here, there's a Triforce on the underside of them, so it's kind of like a blasphemy kind of thing.
Yeah, I've read that, and that's basically what I subscribe to.
Oh, that's why you think this place is Pagan Town?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what to make of any of it.
And it's a really cool thing, because at the top of here, by the entrance to Stone Tower itself, there's just a flaming finger pointing up towards the sky, and it's never explained, it's just there, so...
Maybe this Stone Tower is number 1?
In the article I read, it's basically the Terminans' way of saying, "Fuck you, gods! We'll make our own thing." Because obviously they worship the giants here. They have no need for female goddesses.
Yeah.
But they actually worship the giants?
Yeah.
Oh, huh.
That's what the ceremony or the festival they're having is for.
Yeah, the Festival of the Mass is to celebrate the 4 giants. You get all that lore when you're listening to Andrew's grandmother's stories. But the mere existence of Termina was just so out of left field, considering because every Zelda game at this point in time, with the rare exception of those that don't have Zelda in it, take place in either a completely different dimension or something that just has such a off way of getting to. In the case of Termina, or Termina, I'm hearing how it's pronounced now, we had to fall through this makeshift, I don't know, like black hole with sweet rave party lights to get here in the first place. And, what is this place? Why does it have such a way of going inside?
I think you just found a portal, like, deep underground, and it took you to another world, really.
Or Link was just dead,
Okay, whatever.
If we want to go Termina's like Purgatory or something like that. Yeah, hey, whatever, I know, it makes for interesting discussions.
Look, you can see the flaming finger in the background right now.
Well, I kind of see just glowy lines.
You can see the flame right there.
Yeah, the tip of the finger is on fire.
So
this torch is the torch that shall pierce the heavens.
There's also 2 extremely phallic-looking columns, which were apparently changed to be less phallic-looking, in this version more ambiguous.
What column isn't phallic-looking, though? Let's be real.
These
here.
2 are literally penis spires, is what they are.
Any more, like, where if you could point out specifically where?
Wait, you have green potion? Why do you have green potion?
Oh, ceiling different.
That column on the left just there, the white and orange one. You'll be able to see if you go back in time earlier to this part. But it's again, going back to the article, it's the whole thing about masculinity and how they basically mock the goddesses and whatnot.
Huh.
Why? Stone Tower Temple.
Pretty bitchin'.
Yeah, it's this is a pretty fun dungeon, like all things considered. It is, it has a lot of fun challenges to offer you that are.
They're playing real music. Oh my god, it has a melody. Holy shit.
Yeah, and I really do like its music.
Yeah, the dungeon theme for this place is awesome. In fact, I would recommend you listen to the Zelda reorchestrated version of it. You can't find it on the website anymore. I think the website shut down, but you can find it on YouTube easily. It's fantastic shit. Bombchu, stay still. Thank you. Your services are no longer required.
Why can't they do this for every other dungeon? This seriously bugs me. Like, okay, you're gonna have your ambient noise and crap, but why can't you, like, give that ambient noise a melody or something? Jesus.
Well, Stone Tower is also unique in that it has 2 themes, technically. We'll hear the second theme when we get to around the halfway point in the dungeon, but... okay, you know what? When I said that I was doing a 3-day cycle for the journey to Stone Tower, I was actually thinking of a failed session that I ended up not using.
Yeah.
I was so sick, Stone Tower took me a few recording sessions in itself, not as much as Great Bay, because this place doesn't give me as much shit as Great Bay did. But yeah, initially I went after the dungeon after drinking some Chateau Romani, so I started on day 2. But then I decided, you know what? I'm not gonna use a lot of magic for this place anyway. So let's just wing it. That's why I got the green potion, because I didn't feel like spending money for the Chateau Romani.
Now the reason John put a box down there is there's a few more switches. There's just enough that you'll have to put a box down on one of them. You can't fill up all of them with duplicates.
Yeah, and your Deku duplicate again is worthless. It's too light to land on any of these switches. So you have to make a switch for human, Goron, and Zora, and then you have to use a box to flick the 4th one.
I've got to admit, I'm kind of surprised that they thought to program the different duplicates with different weights.
Yeah, what you would just think a statue is a statue. It should be good enough, regardless of what it's replicating to flick a switch.
Yeah, well, can you not flick switches as Deku Link?
No, I think you're too light.
Huh.
I would agree if you could, because that would be annoyingly inconsistent. But no, that's not the case.
Interesting.
This is the only part of Stone Tower I don't like, okay? Because at this point, the LJ Ventiness has really worn out its welcome.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that you have to do it, like, the same thing again at the beginning of the dungeon is like, oh shit, this is not going to be what we're doing for the entire dungeon, right? And the answer to that is no.
Thank Christ.
Yeah. Let us go to hell.
That was straight up Wile E. Coyote.
Specific yikes sign. Yeah, Stone Tower utilizes all of your forms for not just bypassing stuff, but also getting all the stray fairies. I would say, Stone Tower has the most difficult stray fairies because you really got to go out of your way for some of them, and some of them are pretty well hidden, like that one.
I had to do that for the Zeldathon, actually, and it was pretty tricky, but the reward you get is definitely worth it.
Yes. Oh, jumping the gun here. The final reward you get for Stone Tower is the Great Fairy Sword. It is Link's two-handed weapon in this game.
And weirdly, it's not like an equipable sword, it's a C button item.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's also Link's best weapon in Soul Calibur 2, actually,
Yes.
which is weird.
Ain't that some shit? I never expected to see Link in a proper fighting game.
That's the reason why I wanted the GameCube version so much.
Yep.
I mean, PlayStation 2, you had Hayachi from Tekken, which makes sense. Same developers and all that. But, and Xbox had Spawn. I was like, alright.
You could have had Master Sword with, like, the... Master Sword. You could have had Master Chief with the Energy Sword. Sorry, too much Zelda in my system right now.
Well, they got Master Chief for Dead or Alive 4 or 5, one of those two.
Well, it was really annoying to me because they brought back they did a port of Soul Calibur 2 to the PS3 and 360, but they didn't do the Wii U version.
No.
Like they didn't do the GameCube version on the Wii U, and that just really annoyed me because it's just like, okay, you're just gonna purposefully leave out the character that people most remember from this game. All right. Because that's all that I ever heard about anybody talking about Soul Calibur 2. Oh my god, Link's in it. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever.
Still probably the best Link model we've ever got.
I can tell you Master Chief isn't in Dead or Alive 5 because Dead or Alive 5's got a lot of Virtua Fighter characters in it.
It's probably 4.
Now this platform right here, for the longest time I thought you had to dolphin jump out of the water to get on it, and I think you can do that, but only at a very specific spot. No, the easiest way is to actually get hit by an enemy to let it grab you.
Yeah. You can't, it is possible to dolphin jump. I think I may have done that once.
It's hard, it's
By
quite
accident.
tricky.
Yes, but you're supposed to let the enemy grab you and let him throw him on you. Down there.
So basically it's going, haha, your natural gamer instincts, ignore them.
So basically, what you're saying is that it's very difficult to do a no damage run on Majora's Mask.
Oh yeah.
Not just because, like, not getting hit throughout an entire game's obnoxious, but also because, like, the game forces you to take damage.
Who would dare do a no damage run of Zelda?
It's probably... Well, doing a 3 heart run's basically the same thing.
Well, late game, yes. In the beginning, you can afford to take hits.
Well, if you're good enough to not take damage during the late game, you're not going to get hit at the beginning either.
I remember when I was playing Hero Mode in A Link Between Worlds, 2 hits at the start of the game and you're dead, and there's scurrying mice, or rats, and they move very erratically. Oops, you're dead.
Isn't that one of the easier Zelda games, though?
Not on Hero Mode, it's not.
Not in Hero Mode. I'd imagine, like, the Centaur enemies on Death Mountain. Like, those assholes already do, like, 4 hearts in normal mode.
Here's the thing. If the enemies in A Link Between Worlds are anything like A Link to the Past, they're not actively attacking you so much as trying to bum rush you and touch damage you to death, which, in its way, is actually harder to deal with than the enemies in the 3D Zelda games.
I fucking hate that. It's such an archaic bit of game design.
Yeah.
Like, if they're
Well,
not-
unless if they're like pointy or on fire,
Yeah.
touching a person should not give you damage.
Exactly. Unless they're sizzling with like electric or something, or literally covered in poison, I don't want to be taking damage.
Well, it's just the way that the 2D Zeldas worked. Like Link's Awakening does the same thing too to a lesser extent, but in A Link to the Past, every time you run across a sword wielding guard, what they do is they just sort of run at you with their sword pointed at you. And if they and the infuriating thing is if they hit you, they just keep walking into you and hitting you again and again. It's harder to get them off you than to avoid getting hit in the first place.
I'll say though, it is really weird though when they avert it for a game. I bring up Freedom. Are you guys played Freedom Planet at all?
No.
Never
It's on,
heard of it.
it's on Steam.
That's
You can,
the not Sonic game.
it's
on Steam,
someone's
right?
not Sonic game. Yes.
Uh,
That game does not have touch damage. Enemies have to actively attack you. Which is more up your alley, I'd imagine. But it is so weird because you still, when you're running at like Sonic the Hedgehog speeds and you got these enemies that suddenly appear, you still instinctively want to avoid touching them in the first place, even
Yeah.
though
Yeah.
they can now only damage you via an attack, but it still ends up screwing you over because you prematurely reacted and now you're taking damage as a result of you being
Yeah.
premature with it.
It's funny you should mention that though, because I'm not sure about Sonic Generations, but I don't think Sonic Unleashed or Colors had to touch damage anymore. Enemies had to actively whack you to hurt you.
Yeah, at least the egg bots anyway had to actively swing at you to hurt you.
Yeah. Well, they had to do some kind of attack.
Yeah.
I kind of prefer that because it gives the game one less way of dicking you over.
I gotta say, John, smart move using the stone mask here, because when you kill these things, they can regenerate, and it can make setting up these light beams a bitch and a half.
Yeah. There's another property of the stone mask is, it's not just used to bypass the pirate's fortress easily, but enemies don't recognize you. They don't detect you when you have the mask on.
Dumbasses.
The elite forces of darkness. What a rube.
Yeah, but that's just something I wish they did with more of the masks. Is even if they have their like specific place where you need them, like give them alternate uses so that you can creatively get past situations. Like I don't know how you could do that with like the Don Jiro mask or anything, but at least more of them.
Oh, I was gonna ask you, do you think it'd be feasible for all the masks in this game to have secondary or multiple purposes?
Tertiary.
Yeah,
Well,
third
with the amount that they have, there's obviously going to be some that are more useful than others. But at least an attempt would be helpful, I think.
Even if it's just a little bit of like extra dialogue somewhere, add to the lore, maybe. That's fine.
And a lot of masks already do that. Again, you wear certain masks when you're talking to certain NPCs in Clocktown, they comment on what you're wearing. Regrettably, the Gorman brother that wanders around Clocktown doesn't react to the Gorman mask, the one that cries. But there is some sort of reaction you can get if you decide to do it. If you decide to wear the Gorman mask next to the other Gorman brothers in their ranch, they react to it. Like their faces become really sad, and
Oh.
you can talk to them, and they request that you please take the mask off because it reminds us of our brother who is no longer with us.
Wait, there's a dead Gorman brother?
Well, no, the third Gorman brother is the one that we see inside Clocktown. He's the guy that hangs out in the milk bar that didn't like.
Oh, he's the non-douchebag.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's kind of a douchebag until we play the Ballad of the Windfish for him.
Okay, the less of a douchebag
Yeah.
one.
I thought you were going to say before we play the DLC and find out his true backstory.
$5.99.
You can wear
the Gormans.
you can wear the Gorman mask in front of them, and it's pretty funny too because their facial expressions change on the instant the moment you decide to equip the mask. So they go from douchebag sad, douchebag sad, douchebag sad. It's a neat little detail. I'm not sure how many other NPCs have a similar reaction to other masks, but I'm still exploring Majora's Mask in terms of what affects what with what you wear.
With the amount of writing and context-sensitive stuff that they put in, I'm surprised that they managed to get that all done in a year. To be honest.
Well, there's a lot of when a lot of the foundation is already built, and you got a competent team by your side, then it's feasible.
Oh, they also have more than one writer, I imagine.
Ah, my swords are on fire, denoting mini-boss status.
This is the Garrow Master. I'm wearing the Garrow Mask for flavor. There's no reason why I have it on.
So-
You can use arrows to make this fight a little easier. But I like to go the sword-to-sword method because it's a little more climactic in my opinion.
So, Flaming Sword Ghost Ninja.
Yes.
Excellent.
No, no, he's not sure if he's alive or not.
He's alive because the ultimate fate of the Garrow is to die without leaving a corpse.
That's true. But then he does this shit right here. Well, no, he tells us about how things work, and he's also telling us about the mechanic of Stone Tower. We'll get into in a second. He leaves with no corpse. His body's gone. Hey, how the hell is he saying that?
That's the echo of the Garrow. That's the second rule.
Okay.
It just seems kind of cheesy when he's using the same bomb model as you. They didn't even change it. Like, I just took this out of your inventory. Peace, bitch.
I'm killing myself with your bomb. Pleasant dreams, fucker.
The ultimate secret of Stone Tower, the lemon arrow.
Okay, so did Zelda just sort of leave these behind while she was like out?
No, what you don't know is that Zelda, for each game, has to go through Stone Tower herself to get the light arrow to supply Link.
So wait, what does the Elegy of Emptiness Zelda model look like then?
Tetra.
DeviantArt away.